What's up, Madridistas? Happy holidays. This is Kiyan Sobhani. What you're about to listen to is a 7-minute clip from a much longer, about a 1 hour episode that went up exclusively over on patreon.com/managing Madrid. It's from the mailbag. And once a week, Lucas Navarrete and I, we go through questions submitted from patrons, from Madridistas, and we answer those questions. And we go really deep on various topics about Real Madrid's history, tactics, potential transfers, and so much more. We discuss the news of the day, everything. It's so much fun, and we do that once per week, and it's one of at least 2 shows that you get exclusively over on patreon.com/managing Madrid if you sign up. So we're going to start posting little free clips, obviously not the entire episode. This one's just 7 minutes, and we're going to post free clips as much as we can on this RSS feed, just to get you a little taste of what happens over on patreon.com/managing Madrid. And in this particular episode, the full episode, we answered questions like, would selling Ferland Mendy be a mistake? Does it make sense to have Cristiano Ronaldo back at Real Madrid? Is Malo Gusto a good right back option? Jude Bellingham, have his priorities shifted to playing for Real Madrid? All that and much more is what the full episode entails. And this particular clip that you're about to listen to is a question about Kylian Mbappe. So enjoy it. Happy holidays and lots of love from the entire Managing Madrid staff to you guys. Thanks for being part of this family. Love you and enjoy. All right. Sheikh Hatiri says he has 2 questions. First one is, since the Mbappe discussion is back, can someone tell me how he'd fit into this team? He's upset that at PSG he doesn't get to play on the left. Is he going to play on the left here? If not, why would he come to Madrid to play in a suboptimal position after being pissed with PSG for being played at a suboptimal position? And then consider the Vinny problem. Mbappe's proven that he's a fantastic player. Nobody can dispute that, but let's say he'll cost 150 million transfer fee and 50 million a year, which is much lower than what it'll end up being. Let's say Vinicius is about 75% as good as Mbappe, though I think it's higher, plus Vinicius is younger, so there's improvement left. Is that 25% really worth that much money, or is it not better to spend 50 million or so on Theo Hernandez instead to improve Vinicius's game? Mbappe is not going to be as good as what we saw in the World Cup if he doesn't play on the left, so we'll either have to ruin or sell Vinicius or lower Mbappe's output by playing him in a different position for an insane amount of money. I don't think it's worth it. And I'm not saying this because I hate him, though I do hate the prick. And I'll like the fucker if he comes and plays well. I should have probably edited this question before I read it, but it is what it is. Patron edition. Interesting points.
All valid points for sure. The Vinicius fit was always tricky if we believe the reports saying that Mbappe wants to play on the left wing. We have no official confirmation of that. If we assume that Mbappe is willing to play as a striker, he's definitely a great replacement for Benzema in the long term, and he can play alongside Vinicius. If he's just interested in being a left winger, that's a discussion to be made, and then Shay's points become very valid to me. I don't think he's that big of an upgrade for Real Madrid to spend that much money on him, although obviously you have to consider the fact that probably if Real Madrid were to do that, because Mbappe is only willing to play on the left wing, I'm guessing they will have to sell Vinicius for sure, just because Vinicius sitting on the bench would not make any kind of sense, and Vinicius is not as versatile as Mbappe is. But I don't think, like, if Mbappe were to be on Real Madrid's radar again, and the discussions to start again, and the negotiations to start again here, I don't think he will force Real Madrid to play on the left wing, because he probably knows that even playing alongside Vinicius can actually help his game a lot and help his numbers even more. So I don't think that's a requirement he'll make.
So I understand the points here are valid to me. I'd like to counter them because I'm thinking about this in a different way. Again, to reiterate, I think it's completely valid to want to spend a lot less money on someone like Theo Hernandez and assume that's going to increase the output of Vinicius. I'd like to offer a different perspective. I think that if Mbappe continues playing like this, and this is I'm just going to ignore completely the fact that he did what he did in the summertime. I'm just going to ignore it for a second. I'm only talking about from pure football perspective.
Yes. Which is the way Real Madrid should tackle this, by the way.
Well,
maybe not. I
mean, I think they have good reason. Like if they tackled everything from a pure footballing perspective, Cristiano Ronaldo would have been renewed, and Sergio Ramos never would have left. Point.
That's
Florentino
fair.
does value these things, how people treat the club.
That's fair. Sends a message and so on. Yeah, go ahead.
But if Mbappe continues playing like this for the next 10, 12 years, he's going to be in the GOAT conversation. A player like that is worth making some sacrifices for. For a club like Real Madrid, whose every single Champions League title we've won has been superstars. You know, it's part of the game. I think I understand like the Vinicius barrier. I think the bigger barrier is actually Benzema, not Vinicius. Because I think Mbappe can coexist with Vinicius on the field. In a similar way that Benzema and Vinicius coexist, but also maybe more apt is the way Vinicius and Neymar coexist in Brazil, where Neymar gets to still be on left quite a bit, but he's also advanced. He's playing centrally, and they can kind of interchange and they help each other. Like one of the problems right now is obviously we've spoken about is that Vinicius doesn't get Mendy in the final third to help unlock space. How are you supposed to defend Vinicius and Mbappe together on the left? They're going to create so much space for each other. I think it'll work. But having those two plus Benzema on the team, I think is going to be more challenging. That's why like the 2-year timeline of Benzema has made sense to me for a long time, whether it's for Endrick, whether it's for Haaland, whether it's for Mbappe or whoever. I think Benzema, rightfully so, was a starter because he's one of the greatest players in club history. But I do think that just given his age and Vinicius's age, I think Vinicius and Mbappe would coexist just fine. And the other thing I wanted to say is that I don't think if Mbappe comes to Real Madrid, it will be Vinicius who is sacrificed, because I don't think the club would do that. I don't think, I put it this way, I think if Mbappe told Florentino, I'm only coming if I start on the left wing, I think the club would say no. They'd say, go be on your way, and we have Vinicius. Yeah. I think if he comes, it's going to be a compromise where it's like, this is what we have. We have Vinicius. You guys are going to win trophies together. Take it or leave it. You know, I don't think they're not going to sacrifice Vinicius, who is basically a child. He's one of our kids. He's one of Florentino's kids at this point.
Yeah, I completely agree. With you there. And to me, the timeline fits because I don't see Real Madrid pursuing Mbappe this summer. So the timeline of Real Madrid maybe potentially becoming interested in Mbappe again in 2-3 years' time when Benzema is already way into his decline or even out of the club makes more sense than pursuing Mbappe next summer just to play on the right wing, which would not be that ideal and that great of a fit, in my opinion, although an upgrade, a sizable upgrade, in my opinion, to what Real Madrid have in that kind of spot right now. But the timeline fits because, again, in order for Real Madrid to pursue Mbappe again, I think that time will need to pass. And I don't see the club going after him next summer. So nobody knows what will happen in 2-3 years' time. But in that regard, timeline fits a little bit better than it does next summer.